Muy buenas noches, mis amigos, mis estudiantes. Espero que ustedes han visto, I certainly hope you've seen los videos. They explain everything sobre tener plus que plus infinitivo, ir plus a plus infinitivo y number gender agreement. Y también un video sobre el verbo gustar. Ahora quiero hablar sobre otra dificultad, another difficulty, indirect object pronouns, direct object pronouns. Oftentimes, I'll abbreviate indirect object pronouns as IOP, and direct object pronouns as DOP. I'll have to show you. Indirect object pronouns we'll call IOP or EOP. Direct object pronouns vamos a llamar, going to call DOP, DOP. Let's look at two examples del texto or del examen que causó alguna dificultad. She talks to me. Era un problema en el examen or algo similar, maybe something like that. She talks to me. First of all, a couple rules. One, very important, indirect object pronoun must, es absolutamente necesario, come before a conjugated verb in the indicative mood. Now that's a bit much for you guys to understand right now about moods, but just suffice to say, whenever we have a conjugated verb, you need the object pronoun in front. Same with direct object pronouns. Okay, so that's our rule for now. And we have two situations, a couple examples. Un ejemplo. She talks to me. Vamos a incluir otra parte. Let's include another slide. She talks to me. Primera cosa. First of all, let's just ignore this. At this point, that's second year, el segundo año, you should know how to attack this. She talks. It's presente del indicativo. Present indicative. We know the verb is hablar. What's the third person singular? Third person singular. You know, that's what we think about. And we know that that's habla, or ella habla. Now you have to ask yourself, what do we do with this part over here, right? The to me. Well, do you have your indirect object pronouns? I have what we call, I added a Biblia Grammatical, a grammatical Bible for you at the top of Moodle. If you print off that or look to it como un punto de referencia, point of reference, you'll see a list of, on the sheet, indirect object pronouns, and they would be, as always, 2 columns of 3. Me, te, le, nos, les, right? Now, if it's ella, we told you that's third person singular. Where are you going to find third person singular? Right there. I'm sorry, but she talks to me. Scratch that. It's first person singular, right? If ella is third person singular, but the me is first person singular. So we need up here, actually, let's get rid of the other box. She talks to me. It's ella me habla. Ella me habla. She talks to me. Let's try otro ejemplo. They talk to us. How about that? Now, first of all, just ignore to us. Let's conjugate the verb, right? What's the third person singular? I'm sorry, plural form of hablar. They talk. Hablan. And our subject pronoun just to help you out. Now we know the rule. The indirect object pronoun has to go here in front of a conjugated verb. What's a conjugated verb? Something that doesn't end in AR, ER, IR, but it's a to form, an L form, etc. So to us, what's our object pronouns? In this case, we have me, te, le, nos, les. You have to be able to memorize that chart. Let's clean this up. To clean, limpiar. Y escribir más claramente, les. which one of them is going to be for to us? You have to come right down here, right? That's the first person plural, the top right. So it's ellos nos hablan. So a simple rule, when we have a conjugated verb with an object pronoun, do you recognize when this situation comes up, right? They talk to us. Indirect object is to whom or for whom, so we have to isolate those. And can we turn those around? They have to come, the order is in front of, right? A conjugated verb. Un ejemplo más. Un ejemplo más. There was one, I see you. Now, I felt bad because the verb ver is to see, and the verb ver is irregular in the yo form, but I thought, based on my going over realidades uno, you had been exposed to the verb ver. It would be yo veo. But let's say I see you, familiar singular, right? Familiar singular equals the to form. Do we know the difference between tu and usted? You familiar singular, you formal singular. I'm not convinced we do. First of all, let's ignore this. Come back to that. First of all, conjugate the verb. What's the yo form of ver? Well, let's conjugate it. Veo, ves, ve, vemos, vein. You have to know all these verbs in the present del indicativo, and there's the yo form. Veo. Now, do you remember our object pronouns? I see you. We'd have, it's an object pronoun, me, te. It's direct object, lo, la, nos, los, las, because it's not to whom or for whom, it's just what or whom, but more on that later. What's the only object pronoun that's going to fit for you familiar singular, the to form? That's the second person singular, the middle left, te. I see you, yo te veo. So algunos ejemplos. I hope we could figure these out. You better know your charts. One more. Indirect object pronouns, me, te, le, nos, les. And we'll put a 1, 2, 3 singular plural designación. And then for the direct object pronouns, me, te. I'm going to show you. See how these are the same in both categories? Me, te, nos. And then here you have to show gender, lo, la, and the plural form, los, las. Gracias, señores. Un poquito información sobre el concepto de indirect and direct object pronouns.